Okay. So, something that's been weighing on my heart to kind of go over. Cancer is not what you think it is. It's not. It's not just some genetic thing that you end up with. It's not something that just pops up from smoking or drinking or doing drugs. It's not something that happens at random or without a root reason. People say, well, we don't know why some people get cancer and why others don't. And some people will say, well, how come my grandma got cancer, my father got cancer, but it skipped me and it went to my sister, it went to my brother. But it only shows up every now and then. It's not what people think it is. Now, here I have some things written down. But first you need to get a base understanding of why we get cancer, why we end up sick, and also why some people beat it and why some people can't beat it. And yes, our immune system is a big part in that, but need to explain a few things. So, our bodies are not designed to take on certain things. And you can Google this, you can look it up yourself, and people are going to be like, oh, she's a vegan or a vegetarian. I'm not. I eat meat. I eat eggs. I eat dairy. I eat everything like everybody else. So don't think for one second that I'm trying to push a narrative. I'm not. Our bodies anatomically are designed to be vegetarian. We are meant to eat veggies and seeds and water only. Only water. That means no coffee. And I love coffee. But we're not supposed to have it. Oh, that looks really sloppy, huh? Anyways, don't matter. I'm gonna leave that the way it is. Well, here's why. Let's start with the main thing. You would think, oh my God, yes, I've heard smoking, drinking, red meat, maybe never heard of eggs or dairy being a contributing factor to cancer, but they are. You may have heard sugar or high fructose corn syrup being a contributing factor. Probably never heard honey being a contributing factor, but it is, even in its most organic state. Broken bones, surgery, whiplash, pills, drugs. I'll get into that in a minute. But the main thing I want to emphasize on or focus in right now, what will trigger your body into getting cancer is stress by thought. Why will stress by thought cause somebody to get cancer? Stress by thought will cause somebody to get cancer, develop cancer. Regardless of if it's hereditary in their family or not. People say, oh, well, everybody has to do dishes. Yes. Most of us, unless you're rich and you have somebody to do them for you, have to do dishes. We all do laundry. A good portion of us have had cheating spouse or lover, sick relatives. We've all known somebody who's been sick. Someone we love dies. Maybe we lose our job. Maybe you have court on Monday. Car needs repair. rent, mortgage due, pet dies. What do these have in common? They're all stress factors by thought. While this happened to somebody else, a pet, what are your thoughts around your pet dying? I'm sad. I'm lonely. Your heart literally feels broken. And that could be for a few days, a week. If you're older, it can actually result in you dying, because stats have shown that the elderly, once they lose a loved pet that they've had for a while, they tend to develop deep depression, and they themselves have been showing higher rates of passing away within 3 to 6 months of losing their pet. If they're not given a replacement pet to boost up their feelings of love and joy, and have something to replace that pet with. Laundry. How does laundry stress us out? Well, if you're living alone and you don't have anybody else living with you, it may not stress you out at all. You may not even think about it. For some people, laundry can be a big stressor. They might have 4 or 5 loads to do, 10 loads. If you have a lot of kids, could be 12 loads. Who knows? But the thought of, oh my God, I haven't done the laundry today. I haven't done the laundry. The kids have school tomorrow. These thoughts. Are the dishes done? We still have to cook dinner tonight. Dishes are not done yet. My boyfriend, girlfriend, my husband, wife, they're out cheating on me. Cheating. Oh, am I going to get an STD? What is going to happen to my relationship? What is going to happen to my marriage? All these thoughts going on in our head. These are not good. We can't control when somebody does that to us, right? And they cheat on us. We can't control that. So why do I have that there? Well, it's our thought process surrounding it. Sick relative. Oh my God, are they going to pass away? Are they going to pull through? I know, like with COVID was a big one, right? We all knew someone who got sick or passed away. And then when they do pass away, how come I lived and they died? Maybe some guilt tripping going on, or just overall sadness of missing them. No job. Maybe you lost your job. I lost 3 jobs during COVID, and I gained weight from that. Yes, I chose what I put in my mouth. Yes, I did. I certainly did. But without even thinking about it, I was depressed about losing my job. I didn't think I was. Even though I was only out of work for a couple months on each one, it was still a very big stressor for me. Court on Monday. Do you have to be at court? Maybe it's your child's court. Maybe your son or daughter's in jail and you've been making every single court date without missing it. You haven't missed a single court date. What if you miss the court date? What if you're not there to show support? How are they going to react? Are they going to send you a letter home from jail or prison asking why you weren't there? Will you have a warrant issued for your arrest for not being there? How about your vehicle? Or you've been taking the bus to work? Somebody's been driving you? Do you feel bad because you don't have gas money to chip in today? Or you missed your bus and your car still isn't repaired yet, and maybe you don't even have a car. Maybe you're trying to save up money to get a car. Rent, mortgage. Are you behind? Are you behind on your rent? Are you behind on your mortgage? Been making those payments? Somebody move out? Did somebody die and now you can't afford it? What are we thinking about throughout our days, people? What stressors are we stressing on that we would call that everyday normal life? Everyday normal life. It's not normal. It's not something that we should be stressing about, but we do. Why? The age of technology. So back in the old days, right? Let's think of like Little House on the Prairie type old days. we did what? Well, if you were a woman, you would stay home and raise the kids. You would maybe wash some clothes, hang them out, get the dinner ready for when your husband came home. But women didn't used to always work. They weren't as stressed and they weren't as overweight. If you had a son or a daughter, she would go to school, he would go to school. The sons would help the fathers with the workload. Daughters would help the mothers with the housework. It's not like that anymore, is it? Whether you're single, married, don't matter. We all deal with stress by thought. Get to the point, Jen. Why are you telling us this? Yes, we know we have stress by thought. I'm telling you this is because let's erase this one word. Okay. What do all these things cause our brains to produce? Cortisol. What is cortisol? Does anybody know what cortisol is? Cortisol is a hormone that's released in your brain for what? All right, that's my kids talking. They're debating over makeup. Cortisol is designed for fight. Yeah, I have to grab another marker. Let me grab another marker. Yeah, here we go. Fight or flight. Oh, it just doesn't want to cooperate, does it? There. That's funny. I had to use 2 different ones. Maybe I'll use this one. Fight or flight? I don't know. It's all sloppy, right? But you guys keeping up with me? All right. So, fight or flight. Why would worrying about your dishes trigger your fight or flight response? Why? Do you know? What about the laundry? What about your job or the courts or your vehicle needing repair, your rent, your mortgage, your pet dies, your family member dies, your husband, wife's cheating on you, boyfriend, girlfriend cheating on you, someone you love dies. The laundry is overwhelming. Why does this trigger your fight or flight response system in your brain? Are you on the go, 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 go? People told you, maybe you've heard you had a type A rush personality. Maybe not. Hold on a sec. This tripod's giving me a hard time. Oh, there we go. Anyways, but it does. It most definitely does. It triggers your fight or flight, and it causes your brain to produce cortisol. Well, why is that important? It's important because cortisol is meant for survival. For survival. That's really all it's meant for. I mean, people can argue this or that, but its main reasoning to be in your system is for your fight or flight. Now, let me ask you something. Are you a zebra Is there a lion about to attack you? What does your brain do? What does your body do if you're at the crosswalk and a vehicle comes up too close to you? You jump out of the way, right? Without even realizing it, you jump out of the way, or you might flinch or run. And you're like, oh, where did I get that energy from? Nobody can make me move that fast. Or maybe you're athletic, maybe you can, but... Or somebody jumps up from behind you and scares you, and you turn around and you scream, or you swing your arm. And what ends up happening is, the second your physical body perceives danger, it responds. How does it respond? The cortisol. The cortisol sends, your brain produces the cortisol, and it sends a response through your nervous system. And you'll jump out of the way. You'll move out of that way of that danger. And then, whew, it's over. You didn't get hit by that car. The bus didn't run you over today. Right? So it did its job. It saved your life. But here's the problem. You get that same release of cortisol when you're stressing out about your dishes not being done. When you're stressing out about the laundry, cheating spouse, sick relative, someone you love dies, no job, court on Monday, car needs repair, rent, mortgage due. Oh, okay, we get it. Our brains are releasing cortisol. Big deal. Who cares? Here's the problem. When you jumped out of the way of the moving bus, you released the cortisol. It did its job. But when you do the dishes, the cortisol still stays in your system. It just floats around, and it's not getting used. So what happens to that unused cortisol? Well, here's some little yellow fat cells I drew up. Now, in a normal situation, the cortisol that gets released into your bloodstream, if you were running or jogging or whatever, it would just get burned up right away. It would just get all burned up, and it would dissipate. It would do its job. And it would teach your body that it's responding accurately to danger. But your body doesn't respond accurately to mental stressors, your thoughts. It doesn't know how to process the cortisol. So what does it do with it? So this is the cortisol that's not being used up. Well, it gets stored in your fatty tissue. Fatty tissue. Oh, look. Jennifer stressing out about the dishes and the trash and the laundry and the kids missing school and this and this and this. And it's all getting stored up. Well, that's fine, right? No big deal. Okay, so it's no longer in your bloodstream, right? For like a minute. You probably still have some in your bloodstream. You probably still have a lot in your bloodstream. And so what is it going to do? It's going to keep... Where's my yellow? It's going to keep being stored up in your fatty tissue. Regardless of if you want it there, it's going to do its own thing. So, you ever heard that stress causes you to gain weight? Well, here we go. More fat cells. Oh, wrong color. Yay. We're all stressed out and we're all gaining weight. Let's gain weight together. Dishes aren't done. Husband's not home. Wife's not home. She took my money and she left me. And I'm like, wow, I've been gaining some weight lately. Maybe it's only a pound. Maybe it's only 5 pounds, right? Everybody's different. You don't have to gain 20, 30, 40 pounds, 200, 300, 400 pounds. And over the years you might, but it just keeps getting stored up. So we're storing up the fat and getting some nice cellulite going, right? You guys enjoying your weight gain journey? Where your thoughts have taken you? That's what's happening, okay? So we have that, right? Well, that by itself is nothing, right? Well, let's take a pause from looking at that and let's go over here. Now, in addition to what the cortisol is doing over here, we have stress on the body. Do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you eat a lot of red meat? Eggs and dairy. Hey, do you guys have sleep apnea? How about you wake up in the morning and you feel like your nose is stuffy and you sit up on the edge of the bed and the stuffy nose goes away, but the second you lay down, the stuffy nose comes right back? Yeah, that's from eggs and dairy and meat. Yep, causes excess nasal drip. And so when you lay back, it feels like your nose is stuffy, and you sit up and it goes away after, could be immediately, it could be a minute or two. Maybe you're blowing your nose a lot in the morning when you wake up. You think you're allergic to mornings, but it could just very well be the red meat, the eggs, and the dairy. Now, high fructose corn syrup. Yummy. That's in our cereals. That's in our syrups. That's in everything. You know that, right? You know that. High fructose corn syrup. Let's get addicted to the food. Yeah. Well, honey and sugar turn into fructose. Bread. Where I didn't put bread on here. We got to put bread on here. Bread. Oh, but not tortilla, right? Tortilla's fine. Nope. Tortilla. Not fine. Not fine. And it turns into fructose. Oh, she's just a dietary freak. I'm not. I'm not. But I have to share this information with you guys because we're all getting sick and we're all have some type of stress or something going on. So I'm not going to keep the information to myself. Maybe you got into some type of accident and you got a broken bone. Well, that's fine. Broken bones heal, right? Maybe you had surgery. It could be minor surgery. It could be major surgery. Who knows? That's fine, right? All these things are going to produce cortisol because you're stressing. You're stressing that you're in crutches. You're stressing out before the surgery, after the surgery, during the surgery. Maybe you were in a car accident and you got whiplash. Now your back hurts. You can't lift up those boxes at work anymore. Maybe your doctor gave you pills. Maybe you're hooked on street drugs. I was at one time. And I was also a pill popper at one time. But thankfully, I'm not that person anymore. I also used to smoke. I used to drink. I used to eat a lot of red meat. They'll say, oh, we'll only eat red meat like once a week. Red meat's good for you. If you're only eating it once a week. No, it's not. Remember what I said in the beginning? Look it up. Our human bodies are not made for meat. They're made for veggies. Veggies, seeds, and water. No coffee. No coffee. You might be able to have a little bit of black coffee. Maybe some coffee with some stevia in it, but I wouldn't even do that. Because it's all that dairy that we're pouring into the coffee. Coffee in and of itself probably isn't that bad in small quantities, but today's society, who's not hooked on coffee? Okay, so honey, well, even if it's organic, will turn into fructose. Sugar, fructose. Okay, well, what does that have to do with anything? You're going back and forth. Is it the thoughts? Is it the broken bones? Is it it's everything. It's everything, guys. Okay, so we're smoking, right? So if we're smoking cigarettes, Where's our cancer going to end up? Some people will have multiple cancers. They'll have lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, all kinds of cancers, right? Well, why would I get more than one cancer? Well, because there's more than one thing going on in us. So, the high fructose corn syrup, what does this have to do with anything? Right in here, right? These things cause inflammation. Now, something I want to share with you, red meat causes inflammation, eggs cause inflammation, dairy causes congestion and inflammation. But these all cause inflammation. Smoking causes inflammation, drinking causes inflammation, all causes inflammation. Along with all these other factors, right? Drugs. If you're hooked on methamphetamine or any other drug, your kidneys are going to take a hit. We know that. So those are the obviouses, right? Like, oh yeah, if you're addicted to popping pills, da, da, da. Now, there are some people who genuinely need to stay on their medication. It might be heart medication, could be seizure medication. I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to suggest that you stop taking your medication. You need to seek a doctor, speak to a doctor about that. I'm just sharing with y'all some information that I found out through my studies in college. Okay, so I'm scatterbrained. I know it, but let me see how quick I can finish this up. So we have over here the cortisol that's stored up in the fatty tissue, right? Well, now you also have these factors, all these factors causing inflammation. So this is going to swell. It's going to swell from within. It might result in some cellulite. So it's swelling, it's swelling, it's swelling, 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 swelling. Oh, look, it's swelling up even more. That's not water weight. Maybe it is a little water weight. No. Which, by the way, you know how our bodies retain water. Fun fact, our bodies retain fat when we're not getting the right types of fat. You can get fat from certain types of food other than saturated fat's actually good for you, like an avocado and stuff. There's some nuts and seeds that have fat. Now what's happening? What's happening? It's metastasizing. It's growing. Now, what happens is, as it starts to become inflamed, it gets irritated. One of the cells messes up while dividing. Because, I mean, this is all just sickness anyways. This is all sickness. You're sick. You're sick at this point. Doesn't matter if you're fat or skinny or whatever your situation is. This can result in a benign tumor, right? Or it can result in a cancerous tumor. Cancerous tumor. So benign, can't really spell, whatever, or cancerous tumor. Now what happens? Well, you still have all this cortisol floating in your blood. You still have all these factors causing inflammation, right? So it spreads. It's no longer just in your breast. It's no longer just in your lung. It's no longer just in your liver. It's spreading. It's spreading. It's spreading. It's spreading. It's spreading. It's spreading. And they removed it. Let's say they remove this mass, right? Why does the cancer come back? Because you haven't addressed all these things. You haven't taken control of your thoughts. Where's the positive thinking, people? Where's the me time? Where's the watching comedy on Tuesday nights with some friends? No, you're constantly stressing and producing cortisol. How can I use up that cortisol? You can work out at the gym and it'll burn up this cortisol. It'll burn up the cortisol that's stored. It'll start burning it up. Oh, look, little Susie just lost 2 pounds at the gym. Look at that. Why do people have miracles? Yes, Jesus is the healer of all things. Yes, the Holy Spirit can heal you miraculously. But why have like unbelievers even said that they've cured their own cancer? Their cancer's gone away by changing their diet, exercising, eating right. Because they're burning up the cortisol. They're burning it up. They're burning up that excess cortisol. Without the cortisol stored in the fat tissue, it's less likely to cause as much inflammation. You're still going to have inflammation if you're eating high fructose corn syrup items, sugar, honey, but it's not going to manifest itself the same way. You'll get diabetes, you'll still have certain things, but the cancer forms from all that cortisol mixing with all that other junk you have in your system, causing inflammation, causing it to spread and grow and become something sickly in our bodies. You can cure your cancer. How? You have to tell yourself when you're doing the dishes, it's okay, or reward yourself, or listen to music while dancing and doing the dishes, or go mow the lawn afterwards, go to the gym afterwards, go to the beach afterwards, and burn up the cortisol. You have to run. You have to burn up the cortisol. Cortisol will be burnt up from exercise. Exercise. But if you're equally still mentally stressed out, you'll continuously produce it, and you'll remain sick. You have to take control of the things that you're thinking about. If you're not paying attention to what you're thinking about, and you're not paying attention to the things that you're putting in your body, then you're causing yourself to get sick. And I want to share something else with y'all. I have right here biomarkers written down. Everybody has gene pool, okay? PTSD will make you more susceptible to cancer because you're more stressed. PTSD shows up in your gene pool as these biomarkers. If you were in a concentration camp, or survived 9/11, or domestic violence survivor, or maybe your grandparents were, these gene markers have passed down through your gene pool. Okay? So you are more likely to produce an excess amount of cortisol. So you need to work out. You need to go on a run. You need to go on a jog. You need to do something to burn up this extra cortisol. And you also need to address all these issues in your life if they're present. Okay, eggs. I would say the eggs and the dairy probably aren't that bad as long as you don't have any sleep apnea or nasal drip, like I mentioned earlier before. But if you do, you're going to need to cut out the eggs, and you're going to need to cut out the dairy. For sure. High fructose corn syrup, we're all addicted to it. We all know. But this is going to be a contributing factor. All these are going to be contributing factors when mixed with the cortisol that's not being used up in your bloodstream. Okay? The cancer is not what you think it is. It's not just some random thing that's happening to you. We are not designed to go through all these stressors. Yes, we do go through them, but we're not designed to do it. And it's going to manifest itself into cancer. It could be breast cancer, whatever. Doesn't matter what type of cancer. But I just wanted to share with you guys today that cancer can be a choice, but it's your choice of how you decide to deal with it. Now, some people have fought and made all the changes and they still succumb to cancer. That's very unfortunate. I'm not saying that people haven't tried their all, but radiation therapy, chemotherapy, if you do your research on that, you'll see like those attack your white blood cells. It makes it worse for you. Even the pills, it makes it worse for you. Can't have radiation pills. I want you guys all to take, the next few minutes and just think about, does any of this stuff apply to you? How stressed out are you? How stressed out are you? Are you overweight? I'm overweight. Are you got some illnesses going on? Is your grandparent domestic violence survivor? Are you? How much cortisol are you producing a day? Is it getting stored up in your fat? There are things we can do to make our lives better. I'm not telling everybody to go out and be a vegetarian. That's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying. But you can make little changes to help reduce the risk of getting cancer. What are you thinking about? I hope everybody has a good day or a good night. I hope this video helps somebody. And love you all in the Lord. And I'm sure I'm probably going to get some heat, in my comment section regarding this video. Once again, I'm not a doctor, and you should consult a doctor before making any abrupt changes to your medications or lifestyles. And I hope you guys all have a blessed day. Bye.